Hello everyone, welcome to today's Alibaba Cloud Alpasara Clouder online course. Today we are going to learn how to use the QuickBI to generate business reports. We have several course objectives we are going to achieve. The first one is this course will help you to understand the characteristics and applicable scenarios of several different charts. And the second course objective is we will help you to understand how to choose the proper charts by different scenario. And the third one is definitely you will learn how to use QuickBI to design the reports and even to generate a very complete and comprehensive portal to present your business value. And the last one is you will be able to independently processing the common chart requirements. It's definitely a very comprehensive process. It's not only just generating the visible charts, it's about analyze the data and try to find the value you want to dig into and find the key measurement and the dimension and combine those kind of information to make your visible charts bring the most value to your audience. Okay, this is today's course content. It including several sections. At the very beginning, we will introduce some basic background and concepts of graphical reports, why we need our reports to be visualized, and even in the big data scenario, how can we use the QuickBI to make the data visualization much easier. And then we will also give you a little bit of technical insight about QuickBI, like the components the QuickBI have and how the data come in and come out. And the third section will be the major section, including the several different common charts we use in our daily work. We will introduce each of them and what kind of scenarios they are most applicable, and the advantages and the disadvantages of the different chart. And also we will give you some demo about the different charts by using the QuickBI, how to generate them. And at the very end, we will give you a task. The task actually we will not shown on this online course video, but we are going to generate a lab to be able to help you to get familiar and hands-on our QuickBI products. Okay, now let's talk about the first section, the graphical reports. Talking about the report, it's so familiar for everyone, right? We use it in our daily work. Typically, we have to deal with a lot of data in our daily work. We sometimes generate with a table, or we just use some simple tools to make it in the chart to be able to show it to others to make it more understandable. So definitely reports are the fundamental applications of business intelligence. But the problem is sometimes when you just show the data or you just draw the chart, it cannot reflect the meaning very deeply. That's why we need more tools and more applicable methods to make sure when we analyze this data and when we turn it into a different way to show it to the audience, it can help the audience to be able to find the root cause of what is happening here, and even to leveraging your visualized data to make some prediction to the future. So I have to say, to enhance your report's quality, to make it visualized and to use the proper chart to analyze the data, to dig the information out, that's the major purpose when we are trying to do this kind of work. And the most concern is nowadays the data is becoming so huge, and it's not even can be handled by only some very popular tools like the Excel or those kind of one single node software can be handled. When the data is growing so big, we really need some very special tools. Maybe you heard about the name like the Hadoop, like some other the MapReduce. All these business tools are generated and invented to deal with this kind of situation. And talking about the QuickBI with generous tool is also help you to solve this kind of problem, because you have so much data that you still want to dig all the meaningful information out and make it visible to your boss or to your customers. So the traditional office tools cannot handle that. So we have to find a very good tools to help you to achieve that. That's why we have to consider using some tools like the QuickBI to be able to make your data visualized in the era of big data. Definitely, when we use charts, there's two purposes we want to achieve. Firstly, it's very straightforward, right? It's to display your data. We want to make it visualized, and so everyone can look into data and don't need to pay too much attention to the details, but they still can find most of the meanings you want to present to. And another one is even more important purpose is the data analysis, right? By present the data in a different way, in a different manner, or we change their dimension, we choose the measurement, and we try to find the more deep insight meaning about all the data, so we can help them, we can help our development management or even customers to make more right decision and to help and enhance their business operations. When you're trying to design a chart, or we say a good chart, there are some steps I would like to recommend you. The first one is definitely, no matter what kind of chart you want to draw, the first question you need to ask yourself is, what is the problem, right? What kind of problem I'm facing? If using a chart to draw something can help me to clarify the problem, right? And what kind of information I want to use this chart to show the audience to help them to understand my problem and understand my solution. That's the first question you need to ask for yourself. And the second one is, do not try to rush in to draw a chart immediately, but you can just pick up a pencil and draw a simple chart and show the basic ideas, and you can give yourself a refreshed moment to understand what kind of things you want to show. Then the third one is, when you have your basic idea, then you begin to think, okay, what is my measurement and what is my dimension? These are very two key elements you need to decide. Then if you have already decided these two specific elements, then I can promise you your chart will be much clearer. And the fourth goal is about, now you decide, okay, this is the dimension I want to use, this is the measurement I want to measure, but should I use a column chart, or should I use a pie chart, or even a scatter plot? So you still have a lot of choices, right? You need to have a common sense about which chart is the most suitable to present what kind of category problem. And then you can decide the final chart type. And then finally, when you have your chart generated, don't make it too complex. Just keep all those key information and simple as you can. And because the key purpose you want to achieve is not to draw a very fancy and colorful chart, it's to find the problem and find the solution. Okay, definitely, I have this chart to give you several points you can consider how to make a very good chart. Definitely, the first one should be intuitive, right? It's easily understandable and matching the demand. The second one is about the key information. You have to have all the key information in, otherwise it's useless. The third one is, again, you need to choose a proper chart. You cannot you want to draw a trend, right? You shouldn't use a pie chart or some other chart. That's the key point you want to make. And the last one, as I said, you need to make it visible, but don't not to make it too complex and too colorful, and even cover the real meaning you want to present to your audience. Okay, now let's look into the QuickBI product itself to see how works internally. QuickBI supports real-time online analysis of massive data. With support, you can drag and drop the operations. You don't even need to enter any programming lines, and it can generate device visualization efforts. So it can help you to easily analyze and deeply understand the business data. So it's more than a tool that allows business staff to dissect data. It also boosts data-driven operations and helps complete the last mile of big data applications. So our goal is to make everyone be a data analyst. There are actually 4 key elements you can remember this is the highlights about the QuickBI products. The first one is many. The keyword many shows that actually QuickBI can support many kind of data source. It including CBS, Excel, MySQL, even MaxCompute, all those kind of very popular data store type and the database type can be used as the input of the QuickBI. And another one is fast. How fast it could be, I don't have a very precise data, but again, the data source can coming from the real big database like Oracle, like the Postgres, and aside the MaxCompute. So it give you the whole visualization results just in several seconds. And definitely, it can generate a very flexible and many types of charts and many you can think of. And give you a very granular security and permission control. So which means you can just decide for my portal I want to share to some of my friends but not to any others. All those kind of very fine defined permission control you can achieve in the QuickBI. And the last one is economic. Definitely all the Alibaba Cloud products we built on our Alibaba Cloud Apasara infrastructure. It's low cost, so the price of the QuickBI is very acceptable to most of our customers. This is definitely the internal of the QuickBI. I may have no time to dig into every component of the QuickBI, but from this picture you can see we support a lot of types of different types of data source. Then when we go into the QuickBI, most of the part our audience will be facing is like most of the data portal, the dashboard, the model designer, those kind of the key components. For the engine, for different engines, it's actually more internal of the QuickBI. We may not spend too much time on them. And with all this kind of component support, definitely we still have a vertical kind of capability like the security control, like the organization management, especially for the organization management, which is you can customize your organization units to make your data be managed more organized. Again, for Alibaba Cloud, we have a very big product portfolio regarding to the big data category. So where is the QuickBI sitting at, and what is QuickBI's role playing in big data plan? So this chart shows the whole picture of Alibaba's big data products and portfolio. And again, from the left part, you can see we have the different cloud storage and servers to be able to play the role and the data source. And we also can retrieve the different data from our partners or our other business system like Oracle, MySQL. So all this data will come into our big data repository, like we call them the max compute or the emap reduce. Those are actually the place we are doing a lot of computing, spend a lot of efforts, try to manipulate the data and try to dig into the data and try to process it and find the business intelligence inside. Then finally, when you have all those data clean and relationship calculated, you still want to show the result to the audience. That's where the QuickBI will play and jump in, right? So definitely QuickBI will do the things like what we use in the red rectangle to include, like we will report, do the display report and do the data analysis, and even give you the capability to predict your business. And we have the definitely the portal to be able to customize based on your purpose, and also we can use the different security control to share the portal to the different people. When you learn QuickBI, you just need to remember we have 5 steps you need to learn, and all these 5 steps it's step by step and very clear, separated. And if you understand each of them, you will be able to master the capability to use QuickBI very soon. And in this course, online course, we will focus on the step 1, step 2, and step 4. Because the time limit, we cannot spend too much time on the step 3 and step 5. But if you have time, I really recommend you to install the QuickBI to be able to try to the full process, to including all the 5 steps. And the first one definitely is very easy. You need to sign up because you have to have definitely a Alibaba Cloud account, right? Then you decide the region you want to use, and for now we have the free trial for the basic version and the pro version. It's a very good time period for you to sign up and try those stuff for free. The second one is to import data. They have to have some data source. It could be a local Excel CSV file. It could be some database. You just tell the QuickBI where can I find it. Then the QuickBI will import them and the data source. When the data is coming in, we can see all this data will shown in the working portal of the QuickBI. Then some of the tables maybe not reflect the real purpose, or you want to do some adjustment. You can just go there and to edit them and set the different dimension and metrics to meet your final purpose. And then the fourth one is you begin to think, okay, I will show this data in this particular chart. Then you decide the usage of this chart and decide some kind of metadata for that chart. The last step is definitely to make it public, right? You want, not even total public, but you want it to show some stakeholders to represent them the details and the meaning of your data. So all the 5 steps is very obvious and very straightforward. We will show you all this hands-on process, especially for step 1, 2, and 4, following content. Okay, now let's go through all the popular and very common used charts supported by QuickBI one by one. In this course, we are going to discuss all these 15 kind of charts. Let's start from the first 5. Firstly, let's talk about the line chart. Line chart, from the name, is quite obvious and straightforward. So line chart is formed by making values and points and links these points with straight lines in a certain sequence. Here are some examples of the line chart. For example, you can just want to draw the trend of the height of some boys or girls' height based on their age. So you can just draw a very simple line chart. The dimension could be the age, and the measurement could be the height. And sometimes you want to make the whole point look more smooth. You can using the curved graph, just like this one is showing, to connect each point with more curved ones, not so direct straight line. And you can even put more than one measurement in one line chart. So here, this chart shows that you can still use one dimension, like the age, but you can use two measurements to put both the weight and the height together and to show this. But talking about the more measurement, the weight and height, maybe they have a different unit. You shouldn't use one axis to describe them. It's better to use a double y-axis chart, like this one is shown, right? For the right part, using the columns to show the weight, and use right measurement and the height, and the picture became like a line. So all this using the y-axis give you a more reasonable methods to show the chart. And sometimes you can even using all the shadows to fill in the empty part below the curve to make it look more colorful. And the last one is, we call them a stack chart, which means you can simply add these two measurements together and draw another line to show the accumulation effects. So in summary, the line chart, the applicable scenarios, like we can use the line chart to reflect changes of data on an ordinal dependent variable. In a more general sense, they reflect the trend of things changing along with ordinal characters. So line charts can clearly reflect the trend, speed, and the pattern of data increasing and decreasing. Especially, it's easily to show you the peak values. You can pick up those peak values and the bottom values, and so on. So the advantages are also very obvious. So you can use the line chart to accurately display the changing trend along a dimension, and they help you to compare the trend of multi groups of data on the same dimension. And definitely, it doesn't matter how huge the data is, because it's drawn in the line. It shows a very smooth connection between each of the dots. And the disadvantages, you cannot display a large number of broken lines in each chart, which means for the measurement, you cannot put like 4 or 6. I think it's a little bit too much, right? Just keep it in a 2 or 3 measurement. It gives people more clear view of your chart. There are some similar charts can be used as line chart. Is like the stacked chart, curve graph, double y-axis broken. Now let's talk about the column chart. Column chart is quite like the line chart. It's just the difference is it actually uses the rectangle to show the values. Use the length of the rectangle, and a number of vertical columns with different heights are used to show the data distribution. Here are some examples. Typically, again, for the purpose of representing the like the weight or height of the boy or girls in a different age, you can also use the column chart, right? You can see from this chart in a different age, people that have a different weight. Again, put the weight height together, you can have a very clear comparison between each other. And definitely, you can also put them the two measurements together, and the stacked data will automatically summarize the two measurements and put it in one rectangle. And also you can use the percentage stacked chart, which means they will have all the same height of each rectangle, but different measurement will based on their number and value and take the different percentage of the whole piece. Then we have also, again, you can use the double y-axis column chart. We talked about in the line chart because the two units maybe are not too very related and they have the different measurement to show the more reasonable effects. And the last one, we can turn the vertical direction into the horizontal direction and make it a bar chart. For example, now you can say the horizontal direction became the weight, and a different number of the weight is shown there. So column chart, the most applicable scenarios are suitable for displaying two-dimensional data sets. So one axis representing the classified dimension for comparison, and the other presenting values of the dimensions such as months or sales amount of goods. So bar graphs can also be used to compare comparable metrics of the same dimension, such as months, Apple count. For example, you can just put, you want to show your revenue by citing Apple, and also the revenue by citing page. You want to compare the two different products, their revenue in each individual month. You can use the column chart to clearly show the difference. So the advantage including it's very simple, it's intuitive, and easy to show value difference by column length. And it's easy to compare differences between the groups of data. A disadvantage is also very obvious, because it's the dimension part is based on the different spot, right? So you cannot put too much data in the dimension level. It will make the whole picture looks just like a line chart. It's not a column chart anymore. The similar charts including the bar chart, histogram, stacked chart, percentage stacked chart, and the double y-axis. The pie chart. Definitely a pie chart is just like a pie. It's a very common used type of the chart. You can use a pie chart to display the magnitude and ratio of each item in the data series. In QuickBI, we have three types of pie chart we can support. The basic concept is the same, but the shape is different. Like generally, we have a two-dimension pie chart, and also we can just make it hollow in the middle and make a donut chart. And the last one, we can make it more visible like the 3D pie chart. So actually the three different pie chart types are actually using the same data source and showing just in a different way. So for pie chart, again, the applicable scenarios are most suitable for processing two-dimensional data. The one dimension being a category field and the other being a continuous data field. So users can choose pie charts if they care more about the percentage. You really want to compare the different elements, how much ratio they're taking from the whole. So advantage is very obvious also. It's simple, intuitive, clearly shows the percentage of the components. Disadvantage, definitely it can not be used to show the big data sets, but it will cut the whole pie into many pieces and it cannot easily be identified. Definitely negative values cannot be shown here. So if too many elements or components are having a very similar ratio, we will show that it's hard to tell the difference in the pie chart based on the percentage. We have definitely similar charts like the donut chart and the 3D pie chart we just shown. Scatter plot. Scatter plot, from the name, it displays data and point to show the relationship between variables or the extent to which they are mutually affected. So definitely the positions of the points are decided by the values of the variable. Let me show you two examples. Usually we use a scatter plot to try to analyze data to find the two purpose of the meaningful output. The first one we want to show is just like the distribution of the data. We want to, from this example, you can see definitely this sets of the data they have, for some reason, they collected or sitting between each other, and one point they have a very far away positioning. So which means you can have a very direct view about the distribution of your data sets. And again, we have another purpose to find the aggregation relationship between your data. So from this second example, you can clearly saw, okay, this one set of data, they may have some very close relationship, and the other set of the data, they have seems like it draw a very clear line between each other, right? To separate them into the two different sets of the data. So this kind of analysis gives the audience capability to find out the very sometimes the hidden information behind the data, to give you a very clear view about just you can even use this to do some prediction for the incoming new data to say where they should be. Again, for the scatter plot, the scenarios is applicable scenarios, including we can use it to display the relationship, right, between the values in several data series. It's similar to XY axis chart. Scatter plot can be used to judge whether two variables are in some way correlated, or spot how data is distributed and aggregated. The advantage including show how data is distributed and aggregated definitely, and also suitable for displaying the big data stats. Talking about this point for scatter plot, it's better to have a lot of data, because if you have too less data points, when you show it in the chart, it's hard to find out or hard to be seen clearly about the relationship of the different data. So make sure you have as many as possible source. The disadvantage of the scatter plot is sometimes if you didn't choose a correct measurement or dimension, you may it just looks like a mess. You cannot find any clue about what it does it mean for, right? Also, they essentially only show the correlation, distribution, aggregation. There's no other information can be displayed very well. The similar charts can be the bubble chart, but actually for bubble chart, it's including more than one dimension. Usually there's another, the third element you need to consider to generate a bubble chart. Oh, radar chart. Wow, it's a very interesting one. Because if you are a game player, most of the time you will be able to have a chance to understand what a radar chart actually is. From the definition, radar chart is maps the data values of multiple dimensions to the coordinate axis, starting from the center of the same circle and ending at the circumferential edge, and connects the points of identical groups with lines. The definition looks a little bit complex and hard to understand, but if I show you this picture, you will clearly immediately understand what a radar chart is. For example, in this chart we show based on the frequency the users visit our website. So you can see how many users actually visit 10 to 100 times. It's not how many users, it's actually shows the comparison between the different section of the frequency. Like you can see that for 5 to 10 times access to our website is like most nice number, and most of the access is coming from the 10 to 100 times access. So the radar chart can show you the real comparison between the different dimensions. So it's suitable for multi-dimension data sets. Advantage is really suitable for displaying multiple key characteristics of a data set. It's also suitable for displaying how multiple key characteristics of a data set are compared with standard values. It's also suitable for comparing values of multiple data entries in multiple dimensions. The disadvantages could be the number of dimensions is limited. Definitely, because you are using a radar-like chart, if you use too much dimensions, it looks not like a radar anymore. Also, it's inefficient at comparing the large numbers of data entries. See the first 5 common use charts, how it looks like. Firstly, let's go to the QuickBI portal. I will use the personal workspace. I can click enter to enter the workspace. Usually, for the basic version, they have data source, data sets, and dashboard, 3 kind of category. You can always starting from uploading files here, generate the data source, and go to the dashboard. And I will give a complete demo at the end of the course. So for this video, we will focus on show the different types of charts. The first, let's see this one. This one is a line charts we just mentioned in the previous video. Actually, in this portal, in this dashboard, I generated 6 line charts. When you click each of them, you can see from the right side, there's dimensions and measurements we retrieved from the original table. So the original table looks like this. The traffic indicator. The first one, we collect some kind of the data from the different dates, right? In each date, we have the page view, site view to record the different user behaviors. And also, we are using one application and our business entries. So for the app application, visiting, opening, active users, we also have those kind of data. So it's a kind of example to show the daily business data you can collect from your website. So using QuickBI, you can generate the table like we just saw. Actually, you can see the dimension and measurements are all collected here, and you can just click the different measurement and dimension to put it in here. Then you can have a direct view of the different line chart. Now we have another one. We call them the metrics monitor for users. You want to know in the different days how many active users we have and how many new users we have. Similar thing, you are still using the line chart, but we are using kind of, we call them the second wide axis style. And with this kind of style, you can see the different numbers showing on the both left and right side. Here I'm showing this as a pie chart. Pie chart is using a different table like this. User gender. It's quite simple, right? We know that from the different gender, even the unknown gender, they have the different numbers of the customers. To reflect this kind of and a pie chart, you can have this one, right? And it's very easy. So you can also change the style like the 3D. Or change to the rain or the default, all those kind of stuff. Then you can save it. And also we have another one. We call them it's a column. It's a bar chart or the column chart, but we use it in the horizontal kind of style, right? So the original data looks like this. You have the companies and you have the numbers of the different number of the occupations, right? Where the customers job title, all those kind of things. So we also have another chart we call the radar chart, right? The radar chart, we are using the table like the number 9. It's called the user frequency. Again, for the different frequency, we have calculated the number. To just use the radar, you can just show them on the different dimension. And the last one, we want to okay, we already have the 5 charts, right? So this is first 5 charts, so I'm going to show you. The funnel chart. A funnel chart formed by multiple trapezoids stacked from top to bottom. The items from top to bottom follow a logical sequence. So the area of a trapezoid represents the difference between the business volume of a link and that of the previous link. The most popular scenario a funnel chart can be used is when we're doing the online business, especially the e-commerce business. We want to analyze how many people visit my website and how many people actually begin to add our goods into their shopping cart. Then maybe not everyone who put things in a shopping cart generates order, but definitely we want to continuously know how much orders are making from those shopping cart and how many orders of factory are being paid and actually we will deliver to the customer. So from this example, you can say we are talking about the 2 different products, product A and product B. They have the different navigation and shopping cart, putting number, make orders to give you which product is more popular and how the customers' behavior looks like. And we have another one, we call them a tornado chart. Tornado chart is just like we can compare the different category or the measurement. Like we want to know for the same shopping process between the female and the male, what will be the different numbers. Like you can say for just from this example, seems like definitely female has more large number of the the habits to look into the website, right? But comparing to the ratio they begin to put things in the bucket in the cart, means the percentage is a little bit less than the man. Also, even they put in the cart, they may not put the order immediately, and finally they may. But if they definitely put something in the order, they can finally buy it. From this comparison, you can definitely begin to understand the 2 types of the different customer and their different shopping behaviors. So the scenarios most funnel chart applicable is they can be used in a one-way analysis of single pass business featuring a standardized procedure. Long cycles and multi-links. Funnel charts can intuitively spot links by comparing the business data of each link, thereby facilitating the future decision making. Definitely from last example, the business analytics, they can find out which section from previous section to next section has the lowest percentage. They can work on something to make it even higher. There are some notes here. Funnel charts always start with 100%, right? Then you begin to shrink the different sections. Then the end links exist between the beginner and the end, and each represent by a trapezoid. The Y's of the upper base of a trapezoid represents the input, into the current link, and the width of the lower base represents output from the same link. The difference between the upper base and the lower base represents the reduction of the business volume at the current link. The slope of the trapezoid edges represents the reduction rate at the current link. So the traffic of all the links in a funnel chart must use the same matrix. There are some similar ones like pyramid chart, symmetric funnel chart. Again, we call them the tornado chart, and some comparison funnel chart. What is a tree chart? Just from the name, the tree chart actually is a chart to use a tree-like shape to display the organizational relationships between hierarchical data and organize objects using a parent-child hierarchy. Here is an example of a tree chart. Let's take this for example. Usually when we do one activity in an online business, you want to know how many actually the sub-content or sub-component is actually contribute to the same one. Here the activity A actually was organized by the different small subsets like the sub-activities A1, A2, A3, A4. And different sub-activities, they also have their maybe even lower layer components like the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So you can just put all this stuff into a table and begin to generate a chart like the tree to give you a better understanding about which parties contribute how much to the total output. So the tree chart, the applicable scenario including it's suitable for analysis related to organizational structures or data that follows a clear hierarchical structure. The advantages is very obvious. It's intuitively display hierarchical relationships. It displays relationships between the metrics of each hierarchy and supports simple operations such as roll up and drill down. The disadvantages like it's inefficient at handling large number of data hierarchies. Definitely, if it's too large, you can maybe separate them into different sections to show them in a different way. It's also inefficient at handling large number of the members at each hierarchy because it will make the same layer looks very long and very tedious. It cannot display the percentage of each part. Maybe we can talk about the product owner to enhance this part. The similar chart is like the next one we are going to introduce is the tree map.
Tree map. Tree map use rectangles to represent the nodes of hierarchical structures and express the parent-child hierarchy with the mutual nesting of rectangles. But actually, tree map is not a very popular chart because it's showing the relationships between the different components based on the space it takes in the whole picture. So starting from the root node, the space is divided into several rectangles based on the corresponding number of child nodes. The area of one of these rectangles corresponds to the attributes of the node. Every rectangle is further divided according to the recurrence of the child nodes of the corresponding node until reaching the leaf node. This is one of the example we can generate from the QuickBI. The example is showing the different kind of types of goods we are selling in a website. So which good is selling the best? You can tell from the occupation of the space on the whole chart that maybe paper is the best seller, right? So tree map actually the ideal one, when you click on the section of this item, you can actually be drilled down with more sub components. But so far in our QuickBI implementation, this is not implemented yet. Again, the tree map, the applicable scenarios, is suitable for displaying data with hierarchical relationships and can intuitively compare data of the same level. The advantage is like more compact, so more information can be displayed. It can always display the weights of numbers. The disadvantage is very obvious. It's not as intuitive and specific as tree charts. It's displaying a category with a very low percentage, and it can be very challenging. Which means if the item is including occupying a very low ratio, it's hard to show it on the tree map. There are some similar charts like the tree chart, mosaic chart, and a heat map. Conversion chart is very popular chart used for measuring online business. So, for example, you want to know from previous page, from previous which page is coming to the major page, then from the major page where the end user actually go to. So one of the conversion chart definition is the conversion rate of a page is calculated using the number of page views and unique visitors. This allows users to evaluate the overall operation effectiveness of a site and the final volume of a particular product. Here is one example. In the middle, we call them the product details page. Definitely, it contains the pricing, the list of the different category of the product. But people can visit this page, can find the entrance from the different pages. Like you can visit here, visit the product details page from the banner, or you can just search it and find the product page. Also, you can get it from some other website by the other people's recommendation. Then after visiting the product page, you may want to pay, or you may want to write some comments, or you want to search some related products, so you go to the different pages. So this chart shows the relationship between the three major directions of each other. The applicable scenarios including is very suitable for analysis related to e-commerce and marketing, such as analyzing a shopping website for the best-selling items and the times with the most visits. The advantage including the particularly suitable for analyzing and displaying the operational data of website traffic. So it's focusing on the website kind of scenario. It intuitively displays results including how the metrics of each dimension change, and supports querying the status of processes by nodes. What is the disadvantage? It's including it can be narrowly used for website measurement. So we call them the narrow application because it only displays the process data of 3 dimensions and a strict metric requirement for display. Okay, now let's see what's the next 3 charts we are going to demonstrate. The first one is we call them the conversion chart, right? Again, it's coming from here. We call them the conversion path. It shows how the different pages is leading to the next step. Again, in the middle is our product details page. Then you can see for the different pages, they have the different incoming thoughts. And from the product details page, the customers maybe go to the different directions to do the different things. So the original table is just looks like this. You can just see like this one. Okay, you just give the definition about the 3 pages, right? Previous, current, and next, and you can just nail down the numbers of each of the metrics you want to clarify. Then you can just add those kind of data into the table and generate the charts very easily. Now this we call them the funnel chart. The funnel chart, the original data looks like this one, 0, 3 traffic. So we have the different category to record the different product, right? But their behaviors are tracking are the same, right? from the adding to the shortcut, to navigate, to make orders. So back to the chart itself, you can see the different steps. The steps is defined by just like this one. Right, we have the steps here, and we don't need to care about the orders, and the chart will intelligently put the navigate, which is the largest portion, at the very top, then begin to calculate the different sections of the sequence. And the last one, we call them the hierarchy stuff. Sometimes we call them the tree chart. The example is just to show the different activities, how the sub activities contribute to the whole one, right? So here in the chart, you can just click the minus or the plus to show the different sub layer, and you can always add the sub layers like this. And the original chart is like this one, right? You just need to define what's the activities name and the sub-activity name, and the QuickBI will intelligently find the relationship and put the correct numbers under the different section. Okay, this is the three different charts I show you for the second half. Last 5 very common charts used in the QuickBI. The first one, we call them the card. From the name is actually define the name, because in this chart we will show the key value you want to look into, and with some other metrics measurement. But all these numbers are listed by one dimension, like the date. We will highlight the data to show the most one you want to pay attention to. So actually the card chart displays text, numbers, and symbols in a way that is easily understood. Comparison of combined text and combined metrics. Texts are decided by dimensions and metrics by data measurement. For example, here we are showing that in a different date for your application, you may have the different numbers of metrics, like the daily active users, open counts, and the most highlight one you can always pick up from one of the metrics, because maybe this is the one you management team or your customers is most valuable of. So for the card charts, the application scenarios is like suitable for displaying one or several measures in the same dimension, especially when some metrics must be precisely read, right? It emphasizes that the number is really important. You want to show it and the standalone metrics. And advantage including the displays details data and gives users precise information. It's very simple and intuitive. Highlights the key numbers, easy to show key information to users. So what is the disadvantages? The disadvantages including the only displays one dimension. It's inefficient at displaying large numbers of metrics. Also, it's only a digital panel without advantage of the charts like line chart, column charts. So just use it more carefully when really some numbers you need to highlight and to give everyone a very particularly focus. A dashboard is like a clock or dial scale, and it has scales and pointers. The scales represent metrics and the pointers represent dimensions. The pointer angles represent values. the pointers are point to current values. For dashboard, it's so common that you can find it in your car, right? Like the current speed, the current gas consumption, those kind of very straightforward dashboard. For example, you have a revenue you want to achieve, like 50,000. Now you already finished achieved 38,000, like dollars or some other measurements. So you can just draw a dashboard and use the pointer to point to the current value and show the overall value with the same kind of the units. So it directly give the audience a view then how much you achieve and how much is left for you to move on. The scenarios which is applicable to dashboard chart is like we can use them to manage statements or reports and can intuitively display the progress and the status of a metric. The advantage including displays professional data by a common scale, intuitive and easy to understand. It's more user-friendly, and disadvantage is like it's suitable for a limited number of scenarios that request displaying progress or percentage. It can handle one dimension and display limited information only. It's not efficient at processing too many metrics. So some similar stacks like a stack chart. So the dashboard again use it to add a current snapshot of your progress and of your status to give the audience a direct impression of what you have done and what is left. GeoChart. It's so popular to use GeoChart because we want to measure something happening in the different area in one country or global wide in a different country. So GeoChart is used in the background and indicates the graphical location of the data by indicating where the corresponding graph of the data is on the map. Data distribution across different geographic locations is mapped to the map in the form of color or bubble. The first example I show, we will call them the geo bubble chart. Maybe it's just reflecting for example, how many people are visiting your website from the different province of China. So you can see that the bigger the bubble it is, which means in that area they have the larger numbers of website visiting customers. And also you may say the bubble is overlapped with each other, makes the whole picture looks very mess. You can also use the colored map, which means the more deep the color it is, the numbers of that province is happening to visit your site is more. Definitely, the scenarios of GeoChart can be used for displaying datasets that contain information of geographic locations, and typically displays summarized continuous values by region. What is its advantage? The advantage is like intuitively displays graphic distribution of data in conjunction with maps. It's easy to show the magnitude of measures through the light and dark colors and bubble size. What is the disadvantage? The geographic information is required. Only display summarized data and the bubbles can easily overlap. I just showed that in the first example. Another disadvantage is like displays less accurate values, difficult to differentiate close bubble size and colors. Also, no correlation between the size of a geographic location and the measure can cause misleading. The similar charts could like the geo bubble chart, the color geo chart, and the point plotting geo chart. Polar chart. A polar chart comprises multiple sectors. It's more like a pie chart, but for each kind of sector, they will maintain the same angle. But the only difference between the different sector is that the length is different, right? So the data dimension determines the tag of each sector, and the data measurement determines the length of each sector. All sectors have the same angle. The different radii are used to indicate the differences. For example, again, we want to show from actually so many locations, which location is contributing to the most number of the sales. Maybe you can just use a polar chart to show that maybe the location D is the number one. Then you can use sequential ordering to make it looks very smooth. The second one is location B, location A, C. This is a polar chart to show the difference and the comparison. You can think it's just like a column chart, but you use one way to squeeze them into a very circle to make a polar chart. The scenario is like it's very suitable for comparing enumerated data. Examples including display data variations within a period of time or the comparison between the items. Advantages: the better visual effect than other charts in some scenarios. And another disadvantage is it displays more data than other charts in the same canvas. Disadvantages including it's inefficient at handling datasets of a low number of classification. And also it's inefficient at handling datasets of too small metric values. So it definitely you cannot just show it at least 5 or 6 items at least, then you can make the polar data more meaningful. There are some similar charts like I just mentioned, the pie chart, donut chart, column chart, and the rows diagram. Word cloud is just puts all the keywords you are interested in one a cloud-like chart. So, but the size of the color is different. The size of the word is different, so that you can know which size is usually searched by most of the customers. So it's actually a video display of text data. It's a cloud-like color graph used to display massive text data. Important words are displayed with different fonts, size, or colors. For example, if you can remember in the previous map chart, we talked about this table. In this table, we show how many different items, the merchandise items, are actually searched by the customer. From this word cloud, you can also very easily tell that the paper definitely is the number one, and a sticker looks like almost similar stuff. Telephone is also a very popular keyword and used by the customers. So the word cloud is example. This is an example of the word class. The applicable scenarios is suitable for describing the keywords or visualize the free form text on the website. It can compare the importance of words, especially scatter plot. It is a result of drafting words of specific forms at corresponding coordinate points. Advantage: it quickly perceives most highlighted words or differentiates words of different weights. It also displays a massive text, right? You can just put a lot of different words together, but they will give you the most of the highlights, and you don't need to pay too much attention of those very small numbers. And the disadvantage is it's inefficient at displaying datasets of too low amounts of data. And also it's inefficient at displaying data of low differentiation or without important keywords. Some similar charts is like scatter plot, column chart. Okay, let's see the last 4 examples of the different charts. The first one, again, I want to show is the card chart. It's from here, right? The card is using the original data like this one. Again, there are many detailed data in this table. What we want to show is those kind of parts. The second part,
we want to understand those kind of key metrics, and we want to show those values particularly in the table. So here it looks like, right, based on the dimension of the date, we have the several metrics listed as the numbers. And the first one and the most highlighted one is the new user visits, and the other data is also here. So if anyone who is really interested in the sum of the numbers, you can use this kind of method to just highlight them, right? And also you can let's say this. For example, you can just change one of the date and then make it another one to be highlighted. So this is the card chart. Now this is a polar chart. The polar chart looks like the different sections to reflect the different characters, and the original data is like this one. So I have a collection of the location and the numbers of the customers or visitors coming from the different location. So it's easy to use a polar chart to show which one is which number is the biggest, and it has a most longest metric. In the dashboard, we're using the original data like the marketing income here. But we only maybe care about the revenue, right? We want to use only one. How to say? We have a total revenue one we want to achieve, and this one I'm particularly referring to a static date and the current status. So when you go to the page, you will see here from the style. Actually, it's not here. There are some I think the display problem. I'm setting the range from 10,000 to 15,000, right? And also we are trying to mark the key value of this one, and here is the filter. You know, when I say the filter, we set the data as July 9th. This will put the number of 38.3 thousand here. This is the demonstration of the dashboard chart. And the last one is our word cloud. It's here, word cloud. And it's using the original table like this one. It's very simple. We have the different words, the keywords being searched. They have the different number to reflect how many number times it was candidly searched. So you can just use the word cloud to show that the most largest number of the keyword will be put in the most largest size. Okay, this is some kind of 4 common use charts and the third half of the demonstration. This page we show a collective information of all the charts we mentioned about today, and we just separate them into the different categories to help you to understand and better remember in which kind of scenario you can choose the best and suitable chart to represent your value of your data. For the comparison, you can use a column chart to compare the difference between the different values. Radar, funnel, and the polar coordinates, and Toronto funnel, and the word cloud. They give you the insight of the different ratio, the different component it's occupying. Percentage, we want to compare clearly of the different items, how much you have, how much I have.
So the pie chart, the funnel, the dashboard, and the tree map, it shows either the progress of the percentage or the different ratio of the occupation. Correlation. Correlation means you want to find some kind of relationship between the different values. So scatter plot is definitely one, and the tree map, and the car, and the tree chart, and the conversion chart that give you how the data is flowing from here to there, and how the data is connecting to others, like the distribution and the aggregation, those kind of information. So there are also, you want to show your audience the trend of your values, right? It's definitely the purpose of to evaluate how values change along the dimensions. The PowerPoint charts including the line chart, column chart, and the last one is also the very typical one is a geographic map. So it's a mapping of values and the geographic information, like the bubble geographic chart and the color geo chart. Now we have introduced most of the common charts we support in QuickBI, but how can we organize all these charts together to really provide value to our business? So the last one, I'm going to do a demo to set up an environment about how to use QuickBI, starting from the very beginning to upload the data, generate the data sets, and even create some kind of dashboard to connect the different data to reflect the accumulated information. The task is very simple. We will build a business report portal. For example, let's say ABC is a sales company and its website allows consumers to place and pay for orders for their products. Its operating department has accumulated some static offline data and want to create a business report portal to support acquiring and sharing the data inside the entire enterprise. So for the step one, I will sign up for QuickBI and upload the data and design the reports. And finally, we can create a portal. But in this demo, we are using the basic version. That's why I will not create a portal, but definitely you will follow my operation and understand the very important steps of how to use the QuickBI to bring value to your business. Okay, let's demo how can we do end-to-end QuickBI task by uploading the data into the data set. Then from the data set, we can generate the dashboard we want. Definitely the first step is you need to log in with your Alibaba Cloud account. Then you go to the products, QuickBI, or you can just go to the left side panel, click the QuickBI. From my area, I can see I can go to the several different regions. Which one you can choose is nearest to you. I will click the one like the Hong Kong, and from here, I already have purchased one of the Alibaba QuickBI Pro professional version for trial. It has a 1 month free trial, so it's recommended everyone to buy a trial version and to try the fully function of the QuickBI. After you have finished the purchasing, you can click the enter to go to the dashboard. They will have one personal workspace generated for you. You can click the enter. Now you see you have the data source, data set, and the dashboard on the left panel. Let's start from the data source. I need to upload all these files, the first one. I need to confirm. And the second one, not the second one, the third one, the fourth one,
6, 7, 9, 10. It should 11th. The last one is 12th. You see, when after the uploading, most of the data are synchronized. You can just refresh to see the final status of all the data. Now it's all synced, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I missed one. It's net. Okay, user frequency, confirm, submitted. And then what you need to do is to begin to generate the data set. The data set is coming from here. You can always do this one. You can click the data set. Then they will put your data in this one in here, right? Then you can go back to the data source and do the next one. Create the data set. And the third one. Fifth. Sixth. Okay, now we have all the data sets here, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now next step is begin to think about, because you know the original data, and you want to generate the charts from most of them. Firstly, let's try to generate a line charts. Now from the data sets, you can have the button like a create a dashboard. So you can start from here. They will show you the dashboard. And immediately you can see the different dimension and measurement. They were listed, retrieved from your original data. What you need to do is delete the default one and click the line chart, double click actually. Then you have the line chart basic pin pieces here. And the one you want to do is, okay, let's do mix the data and the dimension. Right, but what we need to do is you need to think about what kind of measurement you want to put, like the page view. Then you do this update. Now you get one, right? You may think, okay, this one is not enough. I need one more. I can put here and drag it and put it here. Right, it looks more like a small one. Get another one. Right. But for this one, you want to use another measurement, same matrix like this one, okay? And as usual with the data, double click. It's so easy, right? Then you can use the different style, right? Like the fill. Okay,
just fill it. And also I want to fill it, and okay, now you have a line charts to use. Let's go back to the data. Now you want to do another one like the let's try funnel chart, the funnel chart. How about that? So from the 03, now let's do a funnel chart. Again, I deleted the first one. Oh, sorry, you should save this one, right? You can call them the network flow monitor. Then you can go to another dashboard, and now you want to generate a funnel chart. For the funnel chart, definitely they have already used. So the measurement could be. Let's do this one. Table steps. Okay, this one. Okay, it's so easy, right? For another one, you do this, do this. You see for the product A how the different ratio is happening. Turn from the first phase to the second phase, and you can even give them like this. You can always change those kind of metadata. Okay, this is how we do the funnel chart. Let's go to let's make a interesting one. How about the line chart? No, let's do the polar chart, right? Here is a polar chart. This one. I will delete the. Oh, I forgot to save this one. Save it and turn in return show. Okay. And for the power one, it's this one. Now we have the location here. And what we need to do is to you want to put the location here, number here, then you do the update, then you have this one. But you think it's too small, you will make it large. And it looks a little bit not so so good. So what we need to do is to go here and styles, show the legend. Oh, sorry, it's not. It's this one. This one. You can just by clicking this one to give it a different sorting from the top to the bottom or from the bottom to top. Okay. Okay, that is the one we call them the user region. It's a dashboard. Okay, let's demo the last one. The one I like the most is word cloud. Word cloud. The keywords starting from here. Come on. Okay, let's remove the horizontal one. We found the keyword. Again, just double click, update. You got it, right? Very interesting one. Okay, the keyword search. Let's try which one you want to try.
Another one I like another one I also like is a convention. We call it a convention chart. This one. For generating this one is a bit interesting because now you see in the dimension part there are 5 dimensions, but actually the path conversion rate and the path jump out rate we want to put it in the measurement, so we can click the edit to edit the dimension to put it actually and the measurement. It's very easy to do. You just click here and convert to measurement, then here convert to measurement, then click save. Right, then let's go back to the data sets. Oh, sorry. Oh, here is this set. I'm saying that we are using this one, right? Here you see, okay, we have the different dimension. Now you can do like because we want to generate a conversion path. It's very interesting. You just click, put everything, then you refresh. Ooh, it's very interesting, huh? Okay, now it's generated. You want to put a name here, right? Conversion analysis. Okay, now I go back to the dashboards. You see all the dashboards we created, right? In the professional level, but in the professional version of the QuickBI, you can also find a portal here. By editing that portal, you can drag those dashboards into a portal and rename it and categorize them. And you can always make sure you have a customized the front page to be shown to the others. For the dashboard itself, you can make it public, right? To show it to the others. It's very interesting, right? You can just click, make it public, then you got the URL. Now, from the URL, you can copy it, go back to here. Oh, sorry, didn't copy it correctly. Copy to clip. Okay. Right, okay, you can see your dashboard. Okay, so here is the end of the demo of the final task. Really thank you for your watching, and I hope you can enjoy your journey by using our Alibaba Cloud QuickBI. Okay, in today's online course, let's have a recap. So at the very beginning, we introduced the importance of generating graphical reports, especially in the context of big data, how it and why it is important to our business. And then we give a QuickBI product itself a quick introduction, like what its internals looks like, and the positioning comparing to the whole big data products portfolio in Alibaba Cloud. And we also gave you some highlights of the QuickBI features like fast, many, and how can it be a cost-saving good choice. Then we introduced 15 charts, common use charts in QuickBI, and give their advantage, disadvantage, and the best applicable scenarios. In the final end, I give a demo about how to create the data set from the very beginning by uploading the data file, then generate the dashboard from the data set. So all in all, I'm glad to introduce the QuickBI product to you. It's a very good product. It really gives you the capability to visualize your data and bring the business intelligence to your business. So thank you for watching.